Well then, I actually thought I was done talking about this guy, and truth be told, I didn't even want to make this video, but oh wait, yes I did, because once again, Mr. Enter has shown that he is an incompetent fool who has no idea what he's doing whatsoever. For those of you who aren't already aware, the mysterious Mr. Enter is a cartoon reviewer and analyst, or something, whatever you want to call him. Basically, he makes poorly done reviews of cartoons and steals jokes from infinitely more successful YouTubers in an effort to gain some notoriety of his own, and has managed to amass 270,000 subscribers for it. Half a year ago, I made a video reviewing him and talking about people's gripes with his content, which ones I agree with, and overall trying to give a fair assessment of his channel. And at the end of it, I came to the conclusion that, while he does have his issues, I felt that it was best to allow him to improve and give him time to blossom before I could really make a full judgment on his content. Well, first of all, his content hasn't improved in the 7 months since I released that. In fact, in some areas it has gotten much worse, which I didn't really think was possible. I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty hard to go backwards in quality, and while he has released a few reviews since then that I would consider tolerable at best, I wouldn't call any of the videos on his channel more than a 5 or 6 out of 10. But I'm not going to focus on his content today. No, today we're going to take a look at Mr. Enter's new show that he has pitched and is trying to raise funds for via Indiegogo to produce a pilot. And so far as I can tell anyway, it has been a complete fucking disaster. No other way to put it, really. So this video will serve as a sort of update for everything I talked about in my prior video about him, as quite a bit has happened in regards to Enter in the past half a year or so, and I feel it makes sense to make a video talking about it all, seeing as it was one of the videos that kicked off my channel in the first place. There is so much shit to go through with this Indiegogo, to the point where I may actually make a separate stream or something where I just go through all of the shit on Indiegogo and on his website and on DeviantArt and look at every little bit of it, because as far as I know, Enter has been working on this thing for a few years now, 4 years actually, and naturally, having been obsessed with something for that long, a mountain of shit has been created. But I figure a good place to start is just on the introduction video itself.
Do you remember what it was like being a kid? Do you remember how you had to wake up early, sometimes even before the sun had come up, to get ready to go to school, a place that you'd come to dislike as the years had rolled on? A place where they put information in your head that you couldn't care less about. Your only reprieve during the day was a brief bit of recess, which was a luxury that was ripped away little by little, as they wanted to prepare you for more and more tests. In these times, it felt like imagination was all that you had to carry you forward to the next day. You were able to make the world so much more exciting in your head. You'd be thinking of schools for learning magic over math. Those dishes that you hated cleaning, they'd become the centerpiece of a game of baseball. And that bedtime that your parents saddled you with, what if that was their bedtime? Then maybe you'd think, what if you were the one in charge?
Well, personally, if I was in charge, I would probably start up my team of minority hunters. But all jokes aside, this concept is completely ridiculous. Like, I know it's a cartoon, so dumb cartoon logic applies in your weird, warped perception of reality that you want to infuse into the show, but like, come on man, doesn't this feel a bit overdone? Like, maybe this is a bit of a ripoff of the movie Opposite Day from 2009, which, by the way, is fucking awful, but the concept itself just feels old and tired. I mean, Jimmy Neutron sort of did it when all of the adults were kidnapped by aliens, and that was absolute chaos. I'm sorry if this feels like a tangent, I just can't understand why this concept, out of everything, seems like the best idea for Johnny Boy here to do. What is he really going to add to the formula? Well, if it has anything in common with his videos, fucking nothing! Enter received the original inspiration for this show from a review he did a few years ago of some poorly done Disney show, which, rest assured, he acquired in even lower quality. What is that, like 240p? And you render in 480. I forget how much of a genius he is sometimes. On Enter's DeviantArt page, he also talked about this in a post he made, explaining that what he is doing is legal and promising his fans that he is not ripping anyone off. And you know what? Chances are this show will fall under fair use if it actually gets made in the first place. I doubt he's stupid enough to break any copyright laws. However, that does not mean that he is actually going to add anything meaningful to the base concept, which is pretty bare and just boring anyway.
I want to bring that thought to life with a show that I call Growing Around. It's planned to be a cartoon about an energetic and wildly imaginative little girl named Sally Dunn as she navigates issues of family, friends, and her typical daily life.
Ah, good. A weird, lonely, socially inept man is going to be explaining what it is like to grow up like a little girl. Well, I guess their interest in My Little Pony and dating prepubescent boys will be one thing in common.
Growing Around is a show that tackles his issues without sugarcoating or kid gloves, but it needs your help to come into existence. This show is a culmination of 4 years of work. I've been at it writing dozens of scripts and fine-tuning the world and the characters to perfection. However, there is one hurdle that is yet to be crossed, and that's the financial one.
Ah, well, the financial threshold has yet to be crossed, yes. So let's just take a look at how much money he's asking for. Oh, just a small sum of $350,000 fucking dollars. You can set your goal as high as you want. The sky's the limit. Follow your dreams or whatever. But like, more than $250,000, hell, more than $20,000? I think that may be just a little much. Especially for a channel that only gets $270 per review on Patreon, which is roughly $1 per 1,000 subscribers. So basically, 1 in every 1,000 people that watch you are financially stable and have enough money to support a creator that they like. I'm not sure what makes you think that you would be able to raise any more than like $15,000 really. And evidently I'm right, as you've just barely broken through the 10K mark on Indiegogo. Josh Brown left a comment on his Indiegogo page saying, "I'm glad you seem to have a realistic budget. Realistic budget.
Going Around is a series that isn't going to be afraid of touching any issue. Topics of sexuality, gender, existential crisis, cultural identity, death, regret, they will all be subjects of episodes.
Oh, well, it's good to see that our little Asperger asexual white boy can speak about all of these issues like being gay, because he's gay and knows a lot about oppression or something. The reward perks for enters Indiegogo are pretty lackluster as well. Not horrible really, and if you're willing to pay the money to receive virtually nothing, then that's your choice, I guess. I mean, hell, who could resist paying money to receive such rewards as $50 for a signed poster, $20 for the pilot's soundtrack, $35 for trading cards, $90 for a t-shirt, $200 for name in show, $500 for a background appearance. 7 people paid money for this. Why would you do this to your wallet? $10 for a special thank you video. I have a feeling that Enter's idea of a thank you video was him stripping down nude and sending people pictures of his little Johnny to the kids who pay money to see his show. Now that we've taken a look at the video and the Indiegogo page, let's take a look at some of the artwork. So this is supposed to be Sally's room. Not sure who Sally is, but I'm not really sure why she has illicit substances in her bedroom, or why her cat doesn't have paws, or why the doll has no face, or why there's no bed in the room, or why there's a massive fucking tree in her room, or why her room has no roof. Like, come on, dude, this isn't Kids Next Door. This is the poster that Enter made for it. It looks unique, I guess. Is this show about recycling or something? I don't really understand. Here's a comic that one of Enter's artists made for the show. I guess this is like Ben 10 now with those eyes, I guess. Mr. Enter is in the show. I didn't realize that he would be living in the same place as children. Make sure you lock your doors, kids, or John might come in and show you his erect atrocity. Clearly this isn't from the show, but I thought it was funny when I saw it, so here you go. You have been #blessed. In the past, when I've made videos about bad reviewers, everyone has said, "What about PieGuyRulz? He makes good videos. Turkey Tom, why didn't you talk about him?" Honestly, I don't think his videos are anything special. His scripting is fine, his audio is fine, and his editing is really just nothing special. And I think to be a good, or at least entertaining YouTuber, you need to at least have good editing or a good personality. My personality is alright, but I acknowledge that it is somewhat lacking, which is why I edit the shit out of my videos, or at least try to make them visually appealing, because I find it necessary to maintain an audience, and I think it makes my content more respectable, honestly. But PieGuyRulz has content that's just sort of fucking boring. I've seen 5 of his videos as of now, and from what I can tell, he just likes to talk about the same things over and over. SpongeBob, Steven Universe, and oh wait, that's pretty much it. And I will acknowledge that I have made a lot of videos based around similar topics, but I think I spice it up enough that my channel hasn't become Mr. Enter Critic 342 or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Granted, in recent times it seems he has drifted away from the more SpongeBob focused content, which is nice to see. Overall, not really that great of a channel. So to all of the people that would suggest that he's one of the best reviewers in the community, maybe he is, that could be true, but that's not saying much considering there are only a few good ones, or at least only a few that I enjoy. He seems like a cool guy, just not that great of a creator in my opinion. But the reason I'm talking about PieGuy today is because he made a video about this Indiegogo shitfest that I thought was a pretty mixed bag, kind of bad in some places, and Enter even endorsed it in his own video, and I mean, if Enter likes something, let's be honest, it's probably a complete piece of shit. An honest look at Mr. Enter's Indiegogo. Well, I would hope that it would be honest. I mean, is that implying that its critics have been dishonest about it, or is it implying that other videos of yours have been dishonest, or is it just a shitty video title that you didn't put enough thought into, and are simply simply using to convince your fans that you are the arbiter of truth. PieGuyRulz, judge, jury, and executioner. Maybe I'm reading into this too much, but then again, you can never really be sure with this community.
A really good plus. And I do want to definitely give him credit that he has been working on this show for years and years. This is something that he is clearly very passionate about. And I mean, you could say many things about Mr. Enter, but he is an ambitious guy.
Ambitious? No, I'd call it delusional. Asking for nearly $500,000 from a fan base of children on a Patreon that doesn't crack $300 on a channel with not even 300,000 subscribers for someone who has never made an animation his entire life and has never shown that he is capable of producing one piece of good writing, either from his reviews, his atrocious book, or his somewhat pedophilic show concept.
He really is. I don't know, and he, not only is he ambitious, but he does work hard to try to make his ambitions come true. Has he bitten off a little bit more than he can chew here? Possibly, but I just want to say that, like, should this actually get funded, I have no doubts that he is going to deliver a pilot, a fully formed pilot. Now, I don't know whether his writing is up to snuff. I don't know if the people that he would hire would be good enough. I have no idea. I'm not going to judge the pilot that doesn't exist. I don't know. The fact is that it's kind of an unknown at this point.
You can tell here that Pie Man is just trying to hold back because he knows that what Enter is doing, at least on a subconscious level, is fucking retarded, and he doesn't want to go that extra mile because, ooh, I don't want to be too mean, and ooh, I like Enter, we can't have him be mad at me, and ooh, like, come on, dude. He has produced nothing. The art looks like dog shit, the writing is abysmal. Speaking of which, let's take a look at some of his writing. This episode starts on a bright sunny morning above an establishing shot of Summerway School. The sun is low and birds pass by, chirping. An ice cream jingle is heard. Cut to the school bus, which is play that exact same jingle, and arrives in the parking lot of the school. You gotta love when you're reading a script for a TV show and the person writing it can't fucking spell above a 3rd grade level. Hope you guys have a fun day at school today. I can't believe Autumn missed the bus again. Well, you know her. She doesn't take her education very seriously. Yeah, but when Autumn or Robert miss the bus, that means Sally needs to drive them to school. Cut to Sally speeding in her car. Autumn looks freaked out in the back seat. Oh, fuck it. I can't bear to read it anymore. It's so fucking boring! Like, holy shit, I know I've barely finished the page, and granted, that idea of cutting to a scene of someone driving makes a little bit of sense, but it's probably a good idea to include the actual angles or shots, or at least a short description of them, like a scene basically that you lay out for your animators to understand, rather than just a long, drawn-out conversation of people talking, during which the only way to keep a viewer visually interested would be to make it visually interesting, something which you do not really do here. So yeah, in conclusion, look, Pie Guy, I know you're trying to be nice and all, but honestly, I cannot see anything that Enter has done right with this entire project, and I think you would be hard-pressed to find anything that he has done right other than saying, oh, he's ambitious, or he's clearly got a lot of passion. And I realize that by making this video and being so harsh and critical in it, I am basically just shitting all over this man's dream. I am fully aware of that, and you know what? That's a fact that I'm actually going to embrace, but a little more explanation before I say exactly why. When I was a kid, maybe 11 years old or so, I had a dream that one day I would create a cartoon. So I would draw all these pictures and write out plots and scripts, and eventually when I bought a computer, I would do all these little test animations and things like that. It was a real dream of mine, but eventually I realized that I have no talent for animation, and I gave up. I realized what I'm good at. I can edit a nice video, make a good script, an essay here or there, but animation just isn't what I was meant to do. And I think Enter should realize that unfortunately for him, he has no real talent. Not that he's shown up until this point online anyway. He can't edit videos for shit because he's lazy. He can't pay enough money for a decent editor, or at least he refuses to. He can't write a good script for his animated atrocities video, or any series on his channel for that matter. He can't draw, he can't really do much of anything. But at least people like his videos. Just stick to what you're good at, or rather, stick to what a group of small-minded children think you are good at. Moving on. Before I move on to the conclusion segment of this video, I just wanted to give a little attention to something that I do like. Another YouTuber named EZPZ made a video about Mr. Enter a few months ago. If you're watching this video, chances are you've already seen it. However, on the off chance that you haven't, I would recommend checking it out. His content is a little more edgy than mine, maybe a little more mean. and I pretty much agreed with everything he said. It's very long, however, so just a little disclaimer, if you don't want to sit down for like an hour and a half to watch a video about some dumbass cartoon reviewer, then it's probably not worth your time. Other than that, good scripting, good editing, good narration. He follows me on Twitter, so that's cool, but make sure you don't subscribe to him because he's a fucking jerk! Go check out his channel, and if you like that video, then you should subscribe to him. I'll leave a link to the video near the top of the description as well as in the end card for those of you who are inclined to check out his channel.
Eternity Forever Forever is about several characters realizing that their favorite musician is an absolute monster of a person, and the complex feelings that arise from that.
I feel like this is Enter sort of projecting, telling his audience preemptively that he's a creep or a horrible person of some kind before he gets outed for it by someone else. I mean, not saying he is necessarily, even though he has done some rather pedophilic illustrations in his past, but just some food for thought. To wrap things up, Mr. Enter's content has not improved in the past 7 months since I last talked about him, and honestly, he hasn't really improved in the past 3 years, and seeing how his past 5 videos or so have all been dedicated to this shitty animated show that I know will never come to fruition because its creator is an incompetent moron, I doubt he'll really be improving anytime soon. 350 big ones is a fucking astronomical goal to want to reach, especially for a YouTube channel that doesn't even have close to that many subscribers, 90% of which are likely children who do not have any money to give of their own. I'm not knocking him for having a child audience. The majority of YouTube viewers are children. It's not an issue. Honestly, I wouldn't criticize someone for having a child audience, not on its own anyway. Stupid children, like in the case of a few other YouTubers I've talked about, are naturally attracted to stupid content, and channels like Enter, Villiskimum94, and other similar channels have content that is not really intelligent, and would obviously attract an audience reflective of that. What is an issue is that he thinks he can raise an insane amount of money on a YouTube channel that doesn't even crack $300 on Patreon. I am confident in saying that he will not even reach $20,000, never mind $350,000. This show is not going to get made. You are giving your money to someone who is more inept than Derek Savage, and in the end you will get nothing in return, and he will not have the money to repay you should he go through with the production of the show despite the budget being lower than the income of a mildly successful bake sale run by the fucking Girl Scouts. But enough of what I have to say. What do you think? Did you like this video? Did you hate it? Did it make you want to massacre my entire family with a blunt object while I watch before finishing me off? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below, as I always love to hear what you guys have to think. All criticism and thoughts are appreciated, and even if I don't reply to every comment, I do read all of them, so rest assured your thoughts will be heard and swiftly brushed out of my mind. If they're stupid, or if they're smart, I don't care. If you'd like to check out my other stuff, including my second channel, Not a Turkey, my Twitter account, and my Discord server, I'll have them linked in the description of this video, and if you'd like to check out some of my other videos, I'll have them linked in the description as well as the end card. Thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. I've been Turkey Tom, and bye for now.